This is we're still in our New York pause. I'm in the backyard. This is our third little swing tip. I'm gonna go right into the golf swing here. We did some pitch shots. We did our distance wedges. But now I'm gonna go right into a tip that will help. It doesn't matter your handicap, it helps any player with getting their swing started off on the right foot. We work on our grip, our ball position, alignment, posture. We can get into that at some other time. So we're gonna start right out and we're gonna work on actually getting the club started back in a much more, I guess you would say, on plane position, a much squarer club face. It'll eliminate a lot of need for compensations later on. A lot of players that I've noticed, and I'm sure all the other assistant pros at Old Westbury, a lot of players have trouble starting the club back in a relatively efficient manner. My number one thing I see is I get people who roll the club inside. So they'll look like this. They roll it. Face gets rolled wide open and the club comes inside. That is going to cause usually a steep open face coming down. The player has to do all sorts of things to square up the face. Some people just pick the club up like this with no turn of the body. Not as common, but that is there too. And then you do get some people who, in an effort to try to think that they're swinging from inside out, they take the club back, they pull the arms in behind them. Once the right arm gets in way behind them, the reroutes out and comes out over the top. And there really is no reason why we shouldn't be able to get the club started away on a nice line, club face somewhat square or matching the spine, not rolling the face, not picking it up. So how are we going to do that? And my suggestion is learning to use the pivot, learning to use the posture, the torso to take the club back. You'll notice that when I pivot, my left shoulder works down a little bit as I turn in my posture. And when I do that, the arms work a little bit in and the club head stays more outside the hands. We call that handle in, club head out. As opposed to me rolling it inside, your friends say, "Oh, John, you're taking it way inside." Then he goes, "Okay." So he pushes the hands away and then does this, as opposed to just using the pivot to get the club started away. So here's a very simple drill to do. You'll notice I love the 2x4. There's so many things we can do with the 2x4, and this is one of them. And when we're going to learn to set up, and as I start the club back, this 2x4 has weight. So I'm going to be forced to use the pivot of the body to help me start it back. And as I do that, push it back, the club face will stay in a nice square position. It's very hard for me, first of all, to push it back and lift it, to push it back and roll it, because I can't get it to push back, or to pull the arms way in, because I won't push it back. I can just push that club back and hit a ball. If you don't have a 2x4, which many of you don't, we can use an umbrella, okay? So you set up an umbrella, and when we get back to Old Westbury on that range, especially on the mats, this is very easy. You set up, you push the umbrella back, and then you hit the ball. So I'm going to show you a couple of what we can do, and you can even hit part shots. So go ahead and come over on the behind side. Now, I have not been hitting golf balls, but what you'll see is I can basically, even if I hit a half shot, I can basically push the umbrella, push it back, and then swing through. It is tedious. You are going to need to not just rifle golf balls. You don't need a golf ball. You could just basically do this, just without a ball in practice swings. But watch how I push this back and then swing through. And this will put the club in the arms in a much better position. As I push it back, you will see how I got the club matching my spine, in front of the hands. My hands are slightly worked on the arc to the inside. This has so many advantages that will help you later on in the swing and make your ball striking become way more consistent.